Hey everyone, welcome to Modern Day Problems. I got myself Mark here, and I got Will here as well.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
All right, let's talk about like what's on everybody's mind these days is dating, dating at this time, and how it works, being with social media and everything kind of involved at this point, right?
Whew, a challenge, but for real. Because when you think about it, when you're trying to incorporate online dating, because unfortunately, most people working 9 to 5.
Right,
People working 2, 3 jobs, got kids, just so many obligations. It's really just hard to get out, especially as you get older, and meet people and date. So you got to find other means to do so.
right,
And guess what? Those options, I tell you, they're scary right now.
right,
Because when you think about it, like I would say the age group 35 and below, maybe 40 and below, they live and die by the internet,
right.
by the social media presence, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, like their life is derived by that. So, everyone has to look a certain way. Like
Right.
most people don't really get to honestly know the person that they see or meet online because unfortunately everybody puts their best foot forward,
Right, right.
to catch your eye.
That's right.
But once they capture the eye and they go from from the physical perspective, everything looks good, checks out. But then from the mental and from the emotional, like people really aren't getting to know the intrinsic qualities of a person.
Yeah, I think that's what it's kind of taken away is that we don't get to know people anymore. Right now, it's about. I mean, if we think about it, like all the apps are based off swiping, right? You don't really get to know even anyone on the apps, right? Yeah, you get to understand like the things that they like, but you don't get to know that true person of who they really are. Like, is this person gonna like be a caring person? Is this person gonna be like this, right? You get this quick little glimpse, right? And that initial glimpse is based on a look, right? A look that you may like, right? It's almost like you're going to a store, right, and picking, okay, hey, I like this type of food versus this type of food, right? It's gotten that way, right? And I think we've gotten away from kind of taking the time to get to know everyone like a little bit further than that, right? And I think if I think back in my past, people that I've met, I've been able to kind of make a connection based off of like things that we're passionate about, things like that, right? But I mean, now it's too hard to find that, and I know anybody that, like you said, the age is 40 and below, right? It's anybody that's out there that's single. I know that, and I'm included actually, right? I'm going through that kind of stuff too, right? The struggles of meeting someone that is a quality person, right? You just don't know what you're gonna get, right? And like I said, all the dating apps are based off swiping, right? And I make that initial decision at that point, and I could be swiping away from a person that could be like a good person internally, right? And I mean, obviously, looks are a big thing, and I don't want to go away from that, right? And I think all people are beautiful in their own way. I think everybody has something always beautiful about them, and I think that getting to know people has just completely gone out the door. So that's just kind of my experience and kind of what I'm seeing now.
Well, it's a growing trend and it's scary because people don't have to invest in other people, whether it be feelings, whether it be emotions, getting to know people. Because the first time someone does something that that person doesn't like, all they got to do is go back to
Right.
the app or social
Mm-hmm.
media and start automatically starting that entire process over,
Right.
searching for the next one. No one, like I see more and more, even when we go out to different restaurants, and you made a great point earlier. It's almost like you go to a grocery store and you're shopping.
Right.
Well, it's the same thing in a restaurant, like buffet. You're
Right.
shop,
That's right.
you're getting
You're choosing.
pieces to your liking at that
Mm-hmm.
time. So people in today's time, it's the same concept. Like people are shopping constantly, and in reality, most people aren't taking the time and being patient to truly
Get to know
getting to
someone.
know
That's right.
that person. Like it used to be what like I would say 20 years ago, like what's your favorite color? Like
Right.
what are the things you
Simple.
like to do? Like simple things.
Yeah.
Now it's about I got my BBL done, I got my lashes done, my breast augmentation looks better
Right.
than yours. My Brazilian butt lift looks better than yours. So when you see that so many people are geared towards that, everybody wants to impress from a physical perspective, but once you get to know a person and you see outside of the physical,
Right.
does that really fit what you're looking for? Because ultimately, you got to understand when you're dating, unless you're just a serial dater and you're not trying to have a life partner and you're not trying to really settle down, then I guess that works for that individual. But
Right.
if you're trying to have a life partner, if you select the wrong person, that person can make or break your livelihood, your
That's right.
finances, your social way of living, everything, because both of you are not on the same
Right.
wavelength. Both of you are not on the same page. So, okay, outside of the physical attributes, is that person bringing to the table the other intangibles that you need to continue growing? Because if your
Right.
partner is not pouring into you, then realistically, that person's a liability and not an asset. And you have to look at that because you have to assess, like, what's making you happy every day outside of sex, outside of romance, outside of
Right.
attention, outside of affection. If you're not getting that,
Right.
then realistically, are you still going to be happy? Are you going to continue to um, stay in something that realistically is not self-serving to you or not benefiting you to the point where you can grow, to the
Right.
point of where you can elevate to the next level? Because a vine, if it doesn't keep growing through sunshine and light, it dies.
Yeah. That's
And,
right.
and when you stop growing, eventually you start dying.
Right.
So if you got someone that's killing you softly because they're not pouring into you, they're not being that supportive, nurturing being,
Mm-hmm.
then in reality, guess what? You're only creating a bigger detriment to yourself because you're allowing yourself to be fooled by false goods.
Right. Right. I'm also thinking too, like going back to what you said, is I do feel like if someone isn't getting something, right, the easy way out is to, you know, get it from somewhere else, right? Like if you're
Correct.
not getting what you need or whatever, right? And I do feel like it's if the individual isn't doing, let's think about like if the individual isn't doing something right, and there's no communication amongst the couple, right? I feel like it's also really easy for someone to just go in a different direction, like, hey, let me go choose this other like meal that I like
Mm-hmm.
versus you know, you're going back to the store again,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes it that quick and easy for someone just to kind of not put the effort into a relationship anymore, right? I mean that's something that I definitely see a lot of where, you know, I know a lot of guys that I know that have gone through something like this where their partner will do that, and then they'll find somebody else, and then boom, you know, that relationship just broke after like 5-6 years, and all that
Mm-hmm.
effort went to nothing. Right now, obviously, there's reasons for people to be unhappy. There's things that come up within a relationship, right, behind closed doors that we don't know about. But still, though, at the end of the day, it's just that it's really easy for anyone to get out of like a relationship, and I don't think people put the work in anymore, right? It takes work, right? I mean, looking back at my parents, I know they always said, hey, you know what, it takes work, and as if both people are willing to put the work in, I think it always works out in a potential good way, right? I'm not saying it's going to always work out, but at least there's a greater chance of it going in a more positive direction if there's better communication, all those kinds of things. And yeah, you know, I just feel like the dating apps definitely give a quick and easy out. Versus before, right, we had to go to bars, right, and things like that, or, you know, go to church and meet folks there and things like that. To have the opportunity, right, to meet somebody good, right. I'm not saying that, hey, a bar is the place to meet somebody, but just that was just an option that people had back then, right, and that's where the social part of it came in, right. It wasn't just easy. Hey, let me just do a swipe left and right, and that'll be that, right. But anyway, I guess where I'm going with that is just we've made it really easy for whether it is a man or a woman that's basically trying to find somebody else, like, hey, that's their way out of anything, you know?
Correct.
So,
Absolutely. Like, it's a get out of jail free card at the end
that's
of the
right.
day. Like, I don't have to sit and confront
Right.
my demons. I
That's
don't have to
right.
confront my transgressions. I don't have to
Mm-hmm.
my lies, whatever the case may be. And it takes a bigger person to do that.
That's right.
So like the ill intentions, the lack of communication, that's become common. Like now, like you said, just pay attention next time you go out to any restaurant and you see a couple. Like now you see everybody on their phone. No one's really paying attention.
Right.
There's no social interaction
There's none.
in dating anymore. And even when people are married or involved or boyfriend, girlfriend, like the dating is not as prolific as it used to be. It's like
Mm-hmm.
people take each other for granted. And when someone feels as if the person doesn't value them,
Right.
that's a very heart wrenching feeling. You know,
Yeah.
especially if you're into your partner, especially if you're into whoever you're dating, or you're trying to put the best foot on. Because I feel like everyone should be loved. Like,
That's right.
To me, love is precious. Love is the most beautiful thing. It
It
makes you
is.
feel so secure when you have someone that really values you and loves you, but loves you with all of them. Not just verbally love, but I'm talking about physically, mentally, emotionally open, emotionally communicating. Like, everything is being shared. All chips on the table. Like,
Right.
there are no hidden agendas, no hidden intentions. Like, all parties are deeply committed, deeply involved, and nothing or no one else matters. Like,
Right.
that is the type of love that, for the most part, it no longer exists, because it is so easy, if someone gets mad at their partner, to just go out on social media or go on a dating app and find a replacement just like that, and don't even skip a beat.
That's right.
And I think that it's causing society as a whole to really be emotionally and mentally withdrawn, because if your partner tell you the issues that they have and you don't address them, but it's
Right.
easier for you to go and start talking to someone else.
Right. Because that's easy, right? There's no work in that.
Correct.
Like, that the easy way is to run.
Correct.
You know.
Correct. So I think that's where society has starting to transition to, because a lot of people don't want to put that work in.
Right. It's almost like we're all becoming introverts, right? Because we're always on our phones. We're doing this. We're not communicating to each other. We're not discussing things, anything like of interest, right? So I do feel like that, and you bring a good topic up about love, and we probably should like address that like in another episode. But yeah, just to kind of talk a little bit out, like a few seconds here about it. But yeah, there's that emotion, like, and that feeling of that. It makes you feel like you're on top of the world. Like, you can do anything and accomplish anything when you have that love and support, right? It makes you feel like you can overcome any kind of obstacle because you have that person, you have that person's love to support you through anything. So, but we definitely should do a topic on that, like as we go on, for sure.
Absolutely,
So,
yeah.
but to kind of end this one, let me ask you this, like, see how you feel about this. But do you feel like it's easier? And I'm not gonna pick one side or the other, but do you feel like it's easier for a male or a female, like, or one or the other, just to like meet people these days? And the reason I'm asking that is because I do feel like it's so easy, and I'm not being one-sided here, but this is just kind of like me, what I'm seeing in my experience. I do feel like it's gotten very easy for a woman just to, put a photo of themselves out there on social media, and then boom, hundreds of guys will sit there, and it won't even take much. It could be like as simple as a bikini photo, right?
Correct.
And then 100 dudes will sit there and message her, right? Like, because wow, they're like all like taken away with her, right? But then the problem is too, and I'm sure women run into this all the time, is that out of those 100 dudes that are messaging her, like, which one is of quality, right? Is then the decision a person of quality, like someone that has a big online presence, or could that just be the regular person that just doesn't have a presence and is just trying to ask her on a date? It's interesting thinking, I think. Like, at least that's what I'm seeing.
Well, you're 100% spot on, because if a female puts a picture up in a bikini, more than likely, if they're getting 100 hits, all 100
Yeah.
they're trying to hit.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's be honest, right?
And that's just being 100% real. Like,
Yep.
they're not trying to get to know you. They're not trying to wife you. They're going for the quick hit.
Right.
So, like, I tell women all the time, like, if you're putting those type of provocative photos up, and in your mind it
Where's
might not
that
be
gonna lead?
provocative, but if people see your assets, that's what a male or maybe a female that's bi-curious, that's the first thing that's really bringing them into you. They're
Right.
not trying to know your zodiac sign or know what university you went to. They want to know, okay, I see she got nice breasts, I see she got a nice butt. So they trying to figure out how can they get in between them cheeks.
Right.
At the end of the day, like,
That's right.
what method do I need to implement to accelerate my path in between that vagina, in between that like, whatever the case may be? That's the number one focus. So when women are doing that, they have to understand that more than likely that's the energy you're going to attract.
Right.
So you can't think that you're gonna find your partner or you're gonna find your knight in shining armor
Mm-hmm.
when you project yourself in a way where someone that's seeing it like, okay, well, you know, they must be bored, so they looking
Right.
for some action.
Mm-hmm.
So let me go ahead and throw my name in the hat, and hopefully I hit the
Hope
Powerball
for the
and get
best.
lucky. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
So, and that's what I know we was talking about earlier. Like when a woman's at a bar and they're looking good, got their makeup on, and a guy comes up and offers a drink. Like 9 times out of 10, if that guy's offering a drink, do you think that guy's offering a drink because they're being nice, or do you think they're offering a drink as a prelude to something else?
There's always an alternative motive.
There's
always a drive for reaching something. You know what I mean?
Unequivocally, absolutely.
I mean, I don't know many men that would just go approach a woman and just say, "I just want to be your friend." Like, I mean, I'm not saying it's not out there. I'm sure
But
it
even
is.
if they do,
you know,
there's still a
a
hidden
gain.
agenda.
Yeah, there's
Correct.
a gain somewhere
Correct.
along that path.
Correct. There's
Yeah.
definitely a gain. Like
Yeah.
the drink is really a carrot
Yeah.
as an icebreaker to
That's
get
right.
the name, get the telephone number. Then once I get the
Mhm.
telephone number, I want to set up a subsequent date, and then before I know it, guess what? I'm either in your bed, you're in my bed.
Yeah, that's
mission
right.
accomplished.
That's right.
So we have to ensure that people understand that, okay, you're getting a false narrative because you're thinking someone has fallen in love with you because they bought you a drink or bought you an appetizer.
Right.
But in reality, that is being leveraged
Of course.
for a bigger
Yep.
gain.
Of course, absolutely. No, I think this is a good area to probably like to end on that note. I think next time we should definitely cover like more of a little bit more into the social media aspect, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, whatever, right? Like, and basically seeing a lot of these women out there. I mean, men same way, right? I don't want to just say, hey, women, right? But men the same way, right? And a certain look that people are doing, right, to edit their photos, right? Like, I mean, everybody Facetunes their photos these days, right? And you're basically getting an image that's not realistic, right? Which is fine, right? That's okay, right? But it's still not realistic, right? And I think, I mean, either men or women can take that image and kind of run with that and think that that's realistic. I don't know where that can go, right, or where that leads to, right? But it's not reality, right? Reality is, hey, you know what? Everybody gets up in the morning. Everybody has funky breath, right? I mean, the reality are those kinds of things, right? This person is fixed up basically and has taken a photo basically to show their best side. Like you said that earlier, actually, right?
Correct.
Like everybody's going to show their best side first, you know.
Correct.
But we should tap into that a little bit, like next conversation.
And you just said it earlier. What about when you start dating this person and you see that they got funky breath? You know?
I mean, yeah, I mean, and I think some men out there, like, and I could be wrong too, right? But I mean, some men out there feel like that's realistic. You know what I mean? And it's unrealistic expectations is what it leads to. So,
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. Thanks for everybody for joining Modern Day Problems. We'll talk to you guys soon.